like you lost another one.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of the Wrestling Revival Podcast, a recap show of Night 2 of WrestleMania. Whew! We've got a lot to talk about, but really quick, before we jump into all of that, before DJ starts going on his rant over here, let's go ahead and thank our sponsor. First off, thank you to UltiSubs, ultisubs.com. Make sure you use the discount code Revival Army for 10% off of your purchase. Again, guys, big shout out to Ulti for hanging in there with us for 3 seasons already. And, you know, more seasons to come, coming up later on this year. So, again, thank you to ultisubs.com. And thank you for hanging out with us. DJ. Damn.
You know how they say, you know, in sports, things could be different from one night to the other. Well, for us, night 1 was different than night 2. If you guys were following us on social media like you should already be doing, you saw our predictions were up early this afternoon on this Easter Sunday. Yesterday, we headed out the park. Today, we have 4 strikeouts and a big sombrero. We only got one match right tonight. So if you're following, you pretty much know what happened in night 2, but we're going to give you the recap here, the good, the bad, and the downright ugly on night 2, because there was some downright uglies in there. We're going to get into all of it. And before we even continue, make sure that you guys know, follow us on all social media. That, of course, is IG, the Wrestling Revival Podcast, TikTok, TWRP_official_, and on X, Elon Musk still calling it X, so we're going to call it X, TWRP_official, for all the latest news and views of all things WrestleMania 41. But technically now, WrestleMania 41 is done. It is completed. It's done in Sin City, and now their eyes can move to New Orleans. But before we get down to the Bayou, Cyber, let's talk about what happened on night 2. Now, we left y'all yesterday saying night 1 was barely a 7.5. But tonight started off with a banger of a match. It was the triple threat match for the Women's World Championship. Of course, that was Bianca BelAir, Rhea Ripley, and the champion, Io Sky. Now, entrance-wise, they did not disappoint. Bianca BelAir had a stepdaughter out there dressed as her. Of course, had, you know, the whole things going down the sidelines. And the robe was crazy, full of roses. That was just crazy. Mm-hmm. Even for Bianca, that was crazy. Rhea just really wanted to turn into, I don't know, old school Undertaker. It was scary as shit, but
it was good.
It was definitely good. And Io had the speakers going to start the whole damn thing. This match, if Jey Uso and Gunther are listening, this is what their match should have been last night. Quick, fast, action-packed. Fans were all into it. Whether you was going for Bianca, Rhea, or Io, it just worked perfectly. Numerous big spots. You did have the hair slap heard around the world. And in the end, you had retaining her Women's World Championship, Io Sky. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a good match to start with. I give it an 8 out of 10 start. What do you think, Cyber?
It's very rare when a Yankee and an Astro actually get along and actually agree on something. But I will say this was a much better paced match than Gunther and Jey Uso. Jey Uso won, and it was supposed to be a really big pop. It was a decent pop, but if it would have been at this pace, it would have been much bigger. So this was a huge thing for them. Congrats to the ladies for putting on a hell of a match tonight. It was very good. I was very impressed. So it's definitely going to be an interesting it's going to be interesting to see how things end up after this. Mania is going to be a very interesting time for everyone.
Yes.
But this was a very good match. I give it an 8 out of 10 as well.
It was definitely a good match here. I think a lot of people coming out of this is wondering, is Bianca finally going to turn heel? Because if you were watching this match, it was a definitely pro EO and pro Rhea crowd. Definitely throughout this match, from the introductions to being, brought into the ring, all that stuff. But maybe, just maybe, Bianca actually goes heel and kind of goes the way of her husband, Montez Ford, and of course the Street Profits, who are still the tag team champions themselves. But good match to start night 2. As we told y'all last night, they need to be full steam ahead going into night 2 after the kind of roller coaster, which was night 1. Now, of course, we're going to talk about the main event, guys. You've been tuning into our show here. We do not automatically go straight to the main event. We bring you up to what happened going through the entire night. But trust me, we got some things to talk about that main event. And honestly, if you're a fiend, you're not going to like what I'm going to say. I'll just leave it at that. But the second match of the night, Cyber, I think we had some form of a street fight between Mandalay Bay and the Luxor. Or was it between the Luxor and the Allegiant Stadium? I don't know.
That's a good question, but I can tell you this much. Holy cow. Drew McIntyre was on a whole different level of petty with this match. I am not even kidding. Damian Priest coming out with the lead guitarist for Slayer playing his intro was
very good.
Amazing.
Very good there.
And then Drew McIntyre coming out looking like he was the stunt double for Shredder. I don't know which one was worse. I can tell you this: it was Drew McIntyre coming out dressed like the dude from Doom, but
Shredder,
overall,
Doom, a Timu version, a Thundercats. Ho! I mean,
oh my god,
what was it? TKO, stop having your wrestlers dressing up as somebody promoting a new show, a new movie, a new video game. This one was not needed. That little stone or statue at the top of the entrance looked like it came from Triple H's garage. Like, what's going on here, guys? Like,
damn, not his garage.
I mean, it was from the Motorhead part of his garage. I don't know. It's a little bit too much. A little bit too much.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that. But overall, this match did not go the way I thought it was going to go at all. Because a street fight, that's usually Damian Priest's bread and butter when it comes to any type of stipulation match. Mm-hmm. And I really thought he was going to be more offensive than what he was. Drew McIntyre ran that match for a good chunk of it. And to top it all off, taking that selfie in the middle of the match, and it's already on social media.
Yes, already is on social media. Shout out to Drew's brother there, coming in with the save with the phone. And literally, Drew McIntyre, I kid you not, y'all, in between a Sin City street fight, you got Drew McIntyre there, you got Damian Priest off to the side. He literally grabs his phone from his brother and takes a selfie in the middle of a street fight match, WrestleMania, mind you, and gets it off without any incident. That's absolutely crazy. But yeah, he's definitely one of the most pettiest wrestlers in all of professional wrestling. But in the end, Drew McIntyre did get the victory. He did set up 2 tables earlier in the match, put Damian Priest right through it. When Damian Priest thought he was going old school, yeah, he went right through them damn tables. That's what happened. And then he took a Claymore to the head through
a chair.
Jeez. If that was that probably be an OMG finisher in WWE 2K26 next year. That definitely will be one because it was an oh my god moment, and Drew got the victory over Damian Priest. But this is something I'm wondering about, and I know probably a lot of other fans are wondering about. These are two wrestlers that it seems that creative has nothing to go with them right now. They're just literally slapping paper wet to a chair or something and seeing if it sticks. Because Damian Priest was hot for a little bit. Now he takes the loss. Drew McIntyre was hot for a little bit. He took a loss earlier in the year. Where do you see these two guys going? Or maybe a switch back to other shows might be best for them.
Well, currently, with everything that's going on with the new people that are popping up and the people that are projected to start popping up as soon as Monday, it's really a toss-up because, I mean, this week we could potentially see 1 to up to 4 different people pop up on both Raw and SmackDown. Of course, obviously, on SmackDown, we're going to be looking at the return of Aleister Black or Malachi Black. He's
just black.
He's black.
He's
black.
That's it.
One way or another, he's going to pop up. Top of all that, if you watch Chris Van Fleet, I said this last night. If you been watching his podcast, Chelsea Green says that Matt Cardona is literally waiting for the phone call at this point. The second WWE calls, he's jumping. And that came straight from her. He is waiting for that phone call. So he could potentially pop up. Not only that, we have the Redeemer, Miro, coming back to WWE, which it's already been made official, and Lana's already on a Legends deal, which I'm a little surprised about that. It being a Legends deal and not an actual contract. So,
well, a Legends deal kind of is like them taking a look at you, seeing what it could be. Maybe it converts over to a regular contract after a certain period of time.
But also, too, that Legends deal might give her a little more flexibility where she can just be in and out whenever she wants to be. Exactly. That's what I'm looking at, too. So remember, that could be potential.
Their previous employer had a more lighter schedule than WWE does. Although WWE has come down off of it quite a bit because, remember, there's no more house shows. So it's really just your main show that you're on and then calling it a day. But we shall see. But like you said, there's numerous people. We just spoke of Matt Cardona. We just spoke of Miro. We have Aleister Malachi Black or whatever new name they come up with him by next Friday. And then we still have the NXT call-ups.
Yes, Roxana Perez. We could be looking at Cora Jade coming up. We could be looking at Ethan Page coming up. We could be
that
Trick Williams coming up. I mean, so there is a lot of people. So to be honest, unless Drew or Damian Priest do something to like totally make themselves pop off the page, they're going to get lost in the shuffle again.
Yes, they are. And I think, honestly, for both of them, I think some time off would be good. Maybe not showing up until after the draft, being put onto a new show. Let these call-ups or new signees, or in some cases, returning signees, get some actual levels too. This is something that the other company has a problem with, and we don't want WWE to have it where they have a big cluster of roster and most people are sitting in catering. So it would be good for some to take a little break, go away, have an extended vacation, while the others hold down the fort for at least a premium live event.
Exactly. And to top it all off, you got to remember, WWE has this show going on A&E called LFG.
No, it's not Let's Fucking Go, people.
No,
it's not that.
No, it's not that. So get that out of your head. A lot of that talent actually has a lot of potential to pop up on NXT at any time. Not only that, they have Evolve going on right now too on Tubi.
Yes.
And they have talent there that could potentially jump up to the NXT roster. So they do have talent in the back waiting to jump up. So with the absence of Trick Williams, with the absence of Ethan Page, with the absence of Cora Jade and Roxana Perez, that leaves a total of 4 slots open on NXT for someone to slide up. So there's a lot of things that could happen between now and between now and SummerSlam that, a new talent can pop up. And I hate to say it, but some of these people that have been sitting stagnant for a while, we might start seeing people getting future endeavored here pretty soon.
And that is something WWE usually does after WrestleMania is start doing their budget cuts. So some of those ones that may be just on the fringe or they just don't have nothing for them creative, it might be best for them to be future endeavor. So maybe they can go on to say the other company that's in prominently the United States, or maybe even going over to Japan. It just might work. So it's always the reshuffling of the deck when it comes to after Mania we're going to be seeing in the next couple of days. But speaking of shuffling, this next match, personally, I told Cyber I had a feeling this would happen. I didn't want to put it as my pick, but it was one of those, keep that in your mental Rolodex. So you know what?
I'm so sick of these people. Oh!
As y'all can see, Cyber is really upset about this. So I'm going to let Cyber talk about the next match of the night, which was for the Intercontinental Championship. It was the Fatal 4-Way. We had the debut of Penta, Finn Bálor, the champion Bron Breakker, and Dominik Mysterio. Cyber, tell them what happened tonight.
Okay. So first off, with this match, like I said, our cards and our picks for tonight totally went out the window because I'll be honest, we were using the old formula for our picks for tonight. And strategically speaking, both of us, you had it too, right? Because we both only got one right. We both picked Penta to win this just because of how big of a hot streak he was on since he debuted.
Yes.
He has been wrecking shop since he debuted. And again, we said it last night. Tony Khan fucked up.
Yeah.
He fucked up.
Big
but
time.
Anyway, this match, the entrances were, kind of mid. Most of the entrances this year were pretty mid. They were not as big and extravagant as they have been in the past.
Yeah, I would say probably top 3, and we'll talk about it. A couple of them are on night 1. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah. Anyway, the match started. You could clearly tell that Finn and Dominik were working together in regards to taking out some of the other competitors, taking out Bron Breakker, taking out Penta. And Penta and Dominik had some big moments in this match. The Mexican Destroyer that Penta pulled on him, I was like, yes, thank you, God.
I love how they call it the Mexican Destroyer, even though we know it's P.D. Williams and the Canadian Destroyer. But it's okay.
Yeah, I know. But, they change it up for the person's home country and all that stuff. So
Viva la Mexico. It's okay.
It's okay. This motherfucker, I swear.
Anyway, I said it right.
Anyway, the match went back and forth. I mean, each competitor had their spots, but you could tell, I hate to say this, but after night 1, DJ and I were talking about it, and then he put that idea in my head. I was like, this motherfucker, if he's right, I swear to God, I am going to be done with some of this shit for a while. He put the idea in my head. He's going to pick his moment, and he's going to make it count. Sure as shit. As soon as Finn Bálor pulled the coup de grace on Bron Breakker, you see Dominik Mysterio fly into shot and frog splash both Breakker and Finn Bálor. And 1, 2, 3, pinning his Judgment Day partner, Finn. Dominik Mysterio is now your new Intercontinental Champion. And all I've got to say is,
what the fuck?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what Cyber is going to be doing after this show tonight.
I wanted to do that since the second that shit happened. Okay. But I will say this as purely a fan, it aggravated me. But thinking about it as someone who does a podcast, thinks about it business wise in my head, this was a smart move by the WWE.
Right.
Because Dominik Mysterio, since his first WrestleMania, and I'm not talking about when he was a kid, I'm talking about when he came out and faced his dad, came out in an came out in a paddy wagon.
That was hilarious.
Huh?
That was hilarious.
Hilarious. The growth this person has had being around Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, Finn Bálor, and then the other members of Judgment Day. And just being in the back and absorbing the information that is out there, this kid has grown before our eyes from a babyface kid wrestling with his dad, winning a tag team title, to going on his own with Judgment Day, winning the NXT North American Championship, and then turning around and knowing when to pick his spot to win the Intercontinental title. This was a smart move on their part. And this is showing how much trust Paul Levesque has in Dominik Mysterio in just the few years that he's been with the company.
Well, you know what? I think it's really, he's shown it. You didn't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this out. He's shown it in the ring every single week. If you've been watching Dom since the paddy wagon, let's just bring it to the paddy wagon, that WrestleMania, to now, you can clearly see there's a difference between the two. Clearly. And it's something that, you know, needs to be accepted. And I'm glad that now he has his WrestleMania moment and clearly is the leader now of Judgment Day.
Exactly. Taking a look at the comments here, KB over here saying they're setting Braun Breaker up to win Money in the Bank. I think they're either doing that or else they're setting him up to be the first feud with Jey Uso. Because remember, the last time he lost the Intercontinental title, it was to Jey Uso.
That's right.
So that could be something that could definitely be going on too. Banana Epic Gaming here also in the comments. Orton needs 3 reigns. No. We're going to get to the main event here.
I mean, guys, you know, we don't jump to the biggest story here, guys. We go throughout the night as it goes. Trust me. Trust and believe. Hang on to it. We're going to get to that main event because I got some things to say about a certain Cactus Jack, and I don't mean Mick Foley.
Yeah, exactly. And then Bananas Epic Gaming, the Intercontinental and the women's title killed it tonight. I agree with that. Those 2 matches were the highlight of the night for night 2. Those 2 matches. So absolutely the right call. Now strap the rocket to Bron and fill it with jet fuel. Like I said, that could potentially be it because just due to the fact of the history that Braun Breaker and Jey Uso have, it makes the most sense. So we definitely need to look at that moving forward. That will definitely happen, but I don't think we're there yet for Braun Breaker to actually win the title. They're going to see how Jey Uso runs with it before they decide how soon they're going to take it off of him. So we just need to give him some time. We need to give him till Backlash, see what happens. Okay, so anyway, Jesus, that Intercontinental title match, it was one of the better ones, definitely.
It definitely was one of the better ones, one of the good ones of the night. But the next match kind of was a downer of sorts, going with, you know, Mr. Social Media. Or I'm sorry. No, that was not it. That we had a open challenge of sorts.
Oh my God, we even got this one wrong. I can.
And literally, it was 20 years in the making. It made myself and Cyber both feel old for a moment that Randy Orton was in his 20th WrestleMania. Let that sit for a second.
I cannot accept the fact that Randy Orton is getting up there. And I remember when he was full blown the legend killer and he was literally headhunting all of the Hall of Famers.
Every last one. He was going in a line. And that's what he was literally doing.
And at this point, he's now looking like Bob Orton. He is now the legend to go after. And oh my God, DJ and I both got this wrong too.
Man, we said all the names possible. We said it could be Rusev Day. We said Cardona. We said Jeff Hardy. We even said because it was 420, it could be Matt effing Riddle. We were all wrong because literally it was I believe in Joe Hendry.
I did not believe in Joe Hendry the second he showed up. I was like, oh my God.
Didn't believe it either. I mean, everyone knows that they still have this handshake, wink, wink agreement with TNA, and that was the best way to put their TNA champion on the stage to basically job to Randy Orton. Many times throughout the match, Randy was just looking at him like, "What are you doing?
Like, what are you doing here?" That was the face that he was making. The favorite face that I saw him make, well, two of the favorite faces. One was when Joe Hendry tried to attempt a choke slam and literally grabbed him like this, and Randy Orton turns around and looks at him like, "Are you serious?"
Literally, was he that serious?
Thumb to the eye as soon as he did it. Like, come on, dude. And then the next one is after he beat him, he RKO's him again, and then he pulls Joe Hendry's stunt, and he turns around, looks at the camera, and then goes like, I'm like, dude, you were just having fun out there at this point. That was like the year John Cena was campaigning to be on the card when he wasn't supposed to be.
Right.
And then he winded up getting in a match with The Undertaker, like absolutely thrown together at the last second.
Seriously, and we know how that went too. But
yeah,
Joe Hendry, a lot of the fans out there in the IWC, they like him and everything. They believe they believe in Joe Hendry. Like they believe in the Detroit Pistons against the Knicks. That's another story for another day. Or they believe in those Memphis Grizzlies too. They got their ass beat too by 51 points. Cyber.
Ooh.
51 points.
Damn.
That's belt to ass.
That is belt to ass.
Jeez.
Almost like the Jade Cargill versus Naomi match. God.
Oh yeah, caution. All right, that was a caution. All right, all over that.
Ooh, hot topic clearance rack right there, man.
$6.99.
Oh no, you shooting too high, bro. That's a $3.99 right there. $3.99.
$3.99. So $4.32 after tax.
$4.32 after tax. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, we're gonna go.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. But yeah, so after Joe Hendry had his WrestleMania moment for all the wrong reasons, we did have the social media influencer going up against, quite honestly, one of the hardest workers on the roster, whether it be Raw or SmackDown. Of course, talking about AJ Styles versus. Do I even have to say his name? Do I have to?
Logan Paul.
Yeah, I'm being honest. I'm kid you not. This is probably not something people want to hear, but this was the bathroom break. This was the snooze fest of the night. And it's sad because AJ Styles is a great worker, as we said many times on his show. But this year, this WrestleMania, that match felt like it shouldn't have been there. It just felt like it shouldn't have been there, and it ran 10 minutes too long.
Exactly. And here's the thing. This is what bothers me is AJ Styles is one of those guys that he will do what's best for company. Exactly that there's multiple others in the company that will do that. But the only thing is, though, is I feel like AJ Styles over the last couple of years, even coming back from injury, he has been on the losing end of everything. I know this might be his last contract. He's talking about retirement already. And I understand wanting to help young talent, but also at the same time, throw him a damn bone, dude. Let him win a couple before he retires. This is one of those matches they should have let him win. Because Logan Paul is in a good spot right now. Because like I said, last night one recap, I said Logan Paul is starting to become a student of the game. He is starting to learn the psychology behind it. He is starting to improve in his skills. We started seeing that as early as I think it was one of the Royal Rumbles. It was last year's, I believe.
Last Royal Rumble, yeah, not 2025, but 2024.
2024, when him and Ricochet had that moment in the ring, that's when you could tell he is learning. He is starting to learn the psychology behind it, and he is starting to learn how to take other people's styles and meld it with his.
Yes.
So he's definitely learning. He could afford a loss. He could have afforded a loss. And I feel like this was one of those nights he should have taken the loss and let AJ Styles get a win.
Should have, could have, but WWE Creative went a totally different way. It seems like they just said, whatever the Wrestling Revival podcast have, we're going to go with the opposite. And
tonight, yes, definitely.
Literally what they did, especially here in this match. It was very, very sad. But nonetheless, Logan Paul did get the victory. Where these two go after this, we'll have to find out in the Raw and SmackDowns after Mania this upcoming week. But the next match really picked up in steam over the past 24 hours, because then it turned from Bayley not being a part of it to who would be the partner for the Women's Intercontinental Champion, going up against Raquel and Liv Morgan. We waited. We got the entrance of the champions first. We got the entrance then of the Intercontinental Women's Champion. Then it was time to see the man. That's right. The return of Becky Lynch to WWE. At this point, me and Cyber just threw our hands up and was like, you know what? F it. They don't really care about our predictions tonight. They was probably laughing about it before they went live with WrestleMania Night 2.
Oh, and I'm sorry, just to kind of prove the point, though, what did we see on TikTok earlier?
We did see a certain person actually like our actual prediction
and save our predictions.
Yeah, and favorite it. Yeah, it was actually one half of the former now women's tag team champions. That would be Liv Morgan. So yeah.
It's not like we're not starting to catch the attention of the people we talk about.
Yeah, no, just a little stuff.
Just a little stuff.
Just too nice.
As soon as I saw that, as soon as I saw Becky Lynch was the tag team partner, I was like, we are screwed. We picked the wrong people. We are fucked.
Yeah, we definitely were. And we saw it throughout this match. You just knew it was going to happen. We just wanted to know how Becky hit her finisher. You could have counted to 30. It didn't matter. We have new tag team champs, and literally the Intercontinental Champion now can call herself 2 belts, because now she not only has her Intercontinental Women's Championship, she also has one half of the Tag Team Championship. So congratulations to them, a team we didn't think we was going to get coming into this weekend, but that's what happens. Now it's not Becky Lynch and Valkyria, it's Becky Lynch and Valkyria. Yeah. So
I can't take this shit no more.
That's what I was saying after this match.
Because we done went through basically the whole night, and we only had one victory. One damn victory. And it was the open challenge of all things.
Of course.
So
they might as well put a local talent in there if they were going to throw Joe Henry in that. But anyway.
Yeah, another story for another day.
Yeah.
So we were then led to the main event of the night. Cue it up. Just cue it up. Okay, I'm going.
All I got to say is,
what the fuck?
What the fuck was that?
I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
All my life I had to fight. How in the blue hell? Because if it ain't blue, it ain't true. Y'all know how I go. How? Cody had the entrance with the motorbikes. That was an old tool, back in the days when they was jumping over in Vegas and all that stuff. And we had the blackout of John Cena. And John Cena with Travis fucking Scott as help. John Cena now has broken Ric Flair's record, is now the 17-time world champion. That's right. Travis Scott, Mr. Fiend himself, Goosebumps, helped John Cena win his 17th World Championship.
And I'm just going to say this about Travis Scott. With how small that fool is looking, the way he was looking tonight, first thing I feel like saying is he looks like he needs to be on one of those commercials for just 10 cents a day. You can help us feed Travis Scott.
I can't.
Like, I'm not even kidding. I'm going to approach this like I did with the Intercontinental title match. Okay, so the fan in me, I'm pissed. I am like really pissed. So you can tell I was wearing my Cody Rhodes shirt. You know, the OG one, the one that he had the first year that he came into the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it would have helped him more to win than it would have helped John Cena. I understand the record. They want to give him the record because, to be honest, Ric Flair has been a little toxic for major promotions. Can we agree? Just a little bit?
Just a little bit too much sugar.
Just a little too much sugar.
Too much.
Anyway, this allows them to erase Ric Flair out of the top spot for something.
Right.
So, fan in me, I did not like it. I preferred them helping Cody help him build himself up. But as a podcaster, as someone who watches multiple promotions, I feel like I have an understanding in the psychology of it. I can understand why they did this with John Cena. Obviously, like I mentioned a couple seconds ago, getting Ric Flair's name off the top of the list in regards to most title wins. He will still be known as that, but he won't be known as the person that has the most wins. The storyline going forward, I feel like it's going to be this. John Cena's not going to show up for shit.
Yeah.
He is not going to show up for shit because it's going to be part of the storyline. They will announce him for something. They will say that he's going to be there. He will not show up. This is going to give Cody Rhodes a platform to go back at him. They are going to run this back again. Now, the question is how soon are they going to run it back? Are they going to run it back at Backlash in a couple weeks? Or are they going to wait for SummerSlam and let this just build momentum from this point? I honestly feel like it could happen either way, but Cody Rhodes is going to take a different approach, I think, than his traditional American Nightmare gimmick. I was telling DJ, I think we're going to see more of a, I forgot the dude's name already again. The dude from The Boys that is like all Americaned out. I'm trying to remember what his name is. It's not Highlander.
No, not Highlander, but Homelander.
There you go. He's going to take more of that approach. He's going to be a lot more vicious, I think. And when they do decide to run it back, Cody's going to get the title back again. He's going to have a second title reign coming in.
You know what? It's more that I think about it now. A lot of the fans there at, Allegiant Stadium, home of the Raiders, did a great job. By the way, seems like it went off without a hitch the past 2 days. Congratulations to them. They were more pro John Cena during this match. And honestly, that just goes for nostalgia purposes only. Because if you're looking at it from a business sense, and we both have said it here on this podcast, it's about business before anything, you would have kept the belt on Cody. Because remember, John Cena is not going to be there 365 days out of the year. This is pretty much his last 4 to 6 months there at the company. They're going to go down to Perth with him for his last match down there in October. So I'm thinking this is going to be a longer run than expected. I think this is going to last probably through Perth in October for their takeover of sorts. They're going to try to milk it for whatever it's worth. They know if John Cena's on the card, people are going to go for it. And nostalgia fans like there tonight, they're going to go for it.
So you honestly think they're going to probably have the title on him until he goes to his last PLE event?
Yes, I think, and that's probably going to be the takeover in Perth in October, because just so conveniently, they made mention of that during the show tonight. And I found that to be very coincidental that they said that will be John Cena's last match down.
Then I see him having to do defenses, at least 1 or 2 defenses before that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think he'll have a defense. And I wouldn't say Backlash, but definitely Money in the Bank. Definitely SummerSlam, or if there's one before that. There'll be a couple leading up to it, to where Pert will probably be the last one. And probably at that point, you will probably see Cody taking back the belt. But I just didn't like the ending to this. It felt like it was anticlimactic.
I do too. The other thing I could see is in Cody Rhodes being in the Money in the Bank match,
to guarantee him a spot to where he just takes it and do it that way. I mean,
so Cody Rhodes is pretty much the boogeyman in the back, waiting for John Cena to have his guard down
and just take the belt right back. But nonetheless, we're this is not a joke. This is not a drill. This might be Cody Rhodes' nightmare tonight. John Cena is now a 17-time world champion. Now, is he going to show up on Raw? Is he going to show up on SmackDown? Usually, with those Raws and SmackDowns, people from each show up on each one. It's pretty much a free-for-all for the next week, and then they kind of go back into what they normally do before the actual draft, which I think this year is after Backlash.
Yes, I agree. Okay, going back to the comments here really quick so we can see what some of y'all are saying. With all the hype surrounding this match, to me, it was a huge letdown. I wouldn't say it was
talking about the AJ Logan Paul match.
Okay, he was talking about that one. Okay. All right. Now, the storyline going forward will be who can take the title off of Cena and bring it home. I think so, but like I said, if it goes through Money in the Bank like DJ's thinking, then I think Cody Rhodes has not won the Money in the Bank. To be honest, now thinking about it, if this is the case that they turn around and have Cody win the Money in the Bank contract, this is checking off something off of his list of things that he needs to do. So it's making more sense now that Cody has lost the title. John Cena is now a 17-time world champion. He's hardly going to show up to anything.
That's right. He's not going to be at every single Raw, every single SmackDown and stuff
nope.
like that. Not.
He is going to be around less often than Roman Reigns was when he did his title reign.
Get ready for that, folks.
Get ready for that. The title is not going to be there, which means it's going to make Jey Uso's title reign more important than ever, is how they're going to book that. Yes. So keep in mind, this is what we have to keep an eye on. And with Cody, if he does win Money in the Bank, he's going to wait until the absolute perfect opportunity. I am talking about, this is probably going to be a cash-in comparable to Seth Rollins on Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
And that is where Cody is going to win the title back. Because it makes more sense.
It's just strange to even say, after a year-long reign, we're talking about Cody having to get the title back. It's been over a year since he's had it, and now we're talking about him getting the title back again.
But here's the thing. A lot of people did not think that people were going to be like this when he finally lost the title. Most people, especially other podcasters, not going to say a couple names, but we can come up with a couple off the top of our head. They thought everybody was going to be relieved that John Cena won the title and Cody was titleless. But now everybody's talking about, how is he going to get the title back?
Right.
And at the end of the day, he's the only person that can realistically get the title back.
Because let's be honest, guys, if John Cena is not defending that title, which is still a SmackDown title, just like Cyber said a few seconds ago, and once again, a Yankee and an Astro agreeing, Jey Uso's belt is the only heavyweight championship belt that will be on TV weekly.
Every week.
It will just be him, which means then the Intercontinental and the U.S. Championship, especially the U.S. Championship, since that one is on SmackDown for the men, that becomes even a bigger title, which Jacob Fatu currently holds.
Yep, and Jacob Fatu is going to run shop on everybody.
Wow.
And what effect is Paul Heyman being in the corner of Seth Rollins going to have on all this?
That's a whole nother dynamic right there as well. We're actually going to find out a little bit about this starting tomorrow at noon on ESPN. Of course, I'm talking about the Pat McAfee show, because he will have as one of his guests Mr. Paul Heyman himself. We'll probably get a little tease as to what are the plans for Monday Night Raw, which of course will be in the T-Mobile Arena for tomorrow night. Now,
looking at this comment from Aaron King, Jey Uso needs to rise to the occasion as champion.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. If not, he's going to wind up losing the belt at Backlash if he doesn't.
He's going to have to, because literally he's going to be, for lack of a better word, since he's the only world championship that's going to be on the roster consistently, he's going to have to carry the company on his back. It's going to have to be him. Not only his promos are going to have to be on point, his matches are going to have to be on point. His storyline is going to have to be on point. He's going to have to hit on all cylinders for Raw weekly now on Netflix, because there's no other title.
I can tell you this much. If he really wants to show that he deserves to be on the top, he needs to do the rematch with Gunther on Monday.
I'm thinking that might be one of the matches, and then you probably see, I'm thinking about it. So you put the pass out there, now I'm going to dunk the ball. You get Jey Uso versus Gunther tomorrow night, WrestleMania rematch, night after Mania. Just when it looks like Jey is going to win and gets the victory, out comes Seth Rollins attacking Jey Uso, basically putting him in the storyline for that title.
Either him or Braun Breaker.
There you go, right there. I would not be surprised if it's one of those two wrestlers, Seth Rollins or Braun Breaker. And remember, Braun Breaker and Jey Uso do have that history. So
with the Intercontinental title, yes, they do.
So they could bring that back up there.
So we've went ahead and talked about night 2. Now let's go ahead and do what was our top 2 entrances for Mania weekend.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. My top 3, I got to give 3.
Okay.
Number 3 is going to be Damian Priest with Slayer. That was a good one. Number 2 to me was Jade Cargill. Shout out to the Weather Channel with that one. That was a good move for them. I give her number 2. Number 1, without a shadow of a doubt, was Tiffany Stratton.
Okay.
Without a doubt. Tiffany Stratton. Mattel did their thing with that. Everybody else, have the cars and everything. That's cute. That's nice. We've seen those many a times before. But those would be my top 3 in that order.
And now here's Ollie Williams with the Blackie weather forecast. Ollie?
It's gonna rain!
Thanks, Ollie. Let's go live to Ollie Williams with the Blackie weather report. Ollie?
It's raining sideways!
Sounds rough, Ollie. Do you have an umbrella?
Had one!
Where is it?
Inside out, 2 miles away!
Is there anything we can do for you?
Bring me some soup!
What kind?
Chunky!
That's what I'm talking about. This shit means something to me, man.
Okay, so DJ had Jade Cargill's entrance at number 2. I have it at number 3 because number 2 had to be Damian Priest for me, just because having the lead guitarist to Slayer, that was it for me. I was like, holy shit, that was good. That was a good entrance. But the one entrance that nobody is talking about, CM Punk. Come on, man.
You know why I didn't mention CM Punk? You want to know why I didn't mention that man who left WWE the first time on shaky ground, then couldn't get a good victory in UFC, then went over to the other company and talked about no glass, and then came back over to WWE and crying, I need a main event and all that stuff. We saw that same thing. Wasn't it WrestleMania 29? Didn't we see in living color back then?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And a living color guy can't look like it.
Hang on. I didn't say that was my number one. That's my honorable mention.
Mm-hmm. No, I
Is a living color with CM Punk.
can't do
But
it.
also the kiss on the forehead from Paul Heyman. Come on.
Yeah, that.
My number one is the same as DJ's. Tiffany Stratton. Mattel working with her to come up with the entrance for her was beautiful. I actually really like that, and props to her for chipping a tooth and then turning around and getting it fixed before the press conference. She got it fixed before the press conference, which means they had to have a dentist on staff, on standby there in case anybody had that problem.
Hey, shouts to her. That is your crown jewel, WWE. You protect her at all costs. That is your champion, or probably one of the biggest women's wrestlers for the next 10 to 15 years. Easily.
Yes, as in you have men in the audience asking themselves, can Ludwig Kaiser really fight?
Some of them know they can't fight them damn selves. I don't know why they think they're going to fight Ludwig Kaiser. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
just
don't
respect.
try.
Just respect it.
Yeah,
It goes back to, a certain former basketball player talking about looking at Bianca BelAir like she was a menu. And then Montez Ford had to, lay the smackdown on that. Like, come on, guys, cut it out.
Mm-hmm. Don't be messing with these wrestlers who are in relationships. It just doesn't end well.
It really does.
They're just as petty as we are. Don't do that.
Yeah, and I'm not messing with Montez Ford. I'm sorry.
No. All right. So the next one I want to go over here before we wrap up for the night is going to have to be our match of the night. Match of the WrestleMania weekend.
Ooh, okay.
For night one, night two. You know what? I'll even throw in NXT Stand and Deliver.
Well, I'm being honest with you. NXT did not stand and deliver in my eyes this year, so I will not be talking about them at all.
Okay, well, I wasn't either, but I didn't know if you had a match off of there. That's why I included it.
Come on, I'll make Cyber laugh, y'all. Y'all want to see Cyber laugh right now? Watch this. Hank and Tank. Okay, remember the conversation we had. Hank and Tank.
Damn you.
Okay.
You ain't shit, dude. Okay. You ain't shit.
All right, that should tell you.
Hank and Tank.
Nothing about NXT right now. Hank. No. We'll leave it at that.
No.
If we're gonna talk about, I gotta break it down into nights. Night one for me, you have to put in there Jade and Naomi.
You mean the
belt to ass
match? Yeah.
Yes, the belt to ass match. You have to put that in there because both of those women did have some good spots, and you could just see the growth in Jade in just this short period of time. If we're gonna talk night two, you definitely gotta talk the triple threat with the women. That was one of the best matches of the night, and then you gotta talk the fatal four-way. I would not even put the main event of night two in the top three. I think that was kind of a regular go home SmackDown type of main event. I didn't get no bells and whistles. It didn't feel like a true main event of WrestleMania. I just didn't feel that either night, to be honest with you. I didn't feel it. More of the storyline for night one because of what Paul Heyman did, but match-wise, it just didn't have that big fight mania feel as in past years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely have to go fatal four-way Intercontinental Championship, triple threat match for the Women's World Championship, and then Jade and Naomi. Those are probably my top three matches of an entire Mania.
Okay, I only have my top match and my honorable mention. Top match, it has to be the women's three-way from tonight. And then my honorable mention is going to have to be the Intercontinental fatal four-way match. Those are my two for the two nights. Yes, I don't have the CM Punk, the fatal the three-way match main event from night one. I do not have the Cody Rhodes John Cena match from tonight. It felt like it lacked substance on both main event nights.
Yes.
It lacked substance. Now, mind you, This is going to be a trial. This is the first time we actually see on a PLE an actual trial and error for WrestleMania, because they were going off of Vince McMahon's formula the last couple years, and they finally are dipping their toes into a different formula. DJ, me and you are experts at looking at and going off of the Vince McMahon formula. And that's why we only had one pick go right for us tonight. This is them trying to see if they can find something else to work for them. This was not the best WrestleMania weekend. This was not the best one. This wasn't the worst one either. This wasn't the worst one. There were still some moments there.
Yes.
But I know I said there was only one more topic before we ended, but I feel like our viewers would probably want us to talk about this too. What changes would you make to WrestleMania from this year, from tonight to next year? It can be one or two, but let's try to keep it at three.
So to be honest with you, I just have one. In WWE, because I see what you're doing, because you're trying to do it in my neck of the woods come August, which is the best month ever. I see what you're doing. And honestly, you need to stop. I think it needs to revert back to the one night of Mania. I think it needs to go back to one night. I know some people are going to say, I don't want to be up 10 hours watching WrestleMania. But you know what? If you think about it, we only had literally 3 hours and 30 minutes, 3 hours and 35 minutes for night 2. Kind of the same thing for night 1.
It was about 20. It was 20 minutes shorter going from night 1 to night 2.
Right. So if you think about it, that's about 6 hours. Let's be honest here. It's probably not even 3 hours of actual wrestling. So if you really cut out a lot of the commercials, the build-ups leading to the matches, you can cut that down pretty much, where you could start at probably 5 o'clock and you could be done by, say, 10. I think that works better. One night, I think will work so much better. And you know what? Just say one night you try that a couple of years from now, maybe in Indy, because you're not going to do it for New Orleans, maybe in Indy. One night in the Dome, everybody there. Let's see what happens, because having 2 nights, you're now having a lot of people think of, am I going to go to night 1 or am I going to go to night 2? They're not doing both. They're just
Exactly.
Especially in Vegas. Very expensive for what I've heard from a lot of people.
From what we saw too.
Yeah.
Because if y'all don't remember, guys, about a year ago, we were talking about going to this WrestleMania to actually do like a live episode of the Wrestling Revival live in Vegas. And we were talking about going to Hall of Fame, which thank God we didn't go to.
Woo! I love sleep.
And then going to night 1, night 2, and then Raw tomorrow.
Yes.
But once we started looking at the prices, we were like, oh, hell no. We realistically couldn't afford it. And that's with me doing the job I do and DJ doing the job he does. I mean, we could not afford that. But anyway, me going on to what I would like to see change in regards to Mania for next year, DJ, I 100% agree with you. That option is definitely an option where just cut it down to one night, reduce the commercials. You can fit it all in and be done by 10. But what I honestly am thinking is, I actually discussed this with you while we were watching Mania here in the room before we started the episode. What I would say, cut out Stand and Deliver, cut out Friday night, just have, instead of SmackDown, have the Hall of Fame ceremony around the time that SmackDown is supposed to be on the air. You prevent injuries to superstars with Rey Mysterio. Saturday, instead of doing Stand and Deliver, take the 2 or 3 matches that were going to be the big ones for NXT Stand and Deliver, put them on night 1 of WrestleMania, and then have one or two main events that you're going to have the main roster do. Still fill in that time. You cut down costs by not having to do stand and deliver, and you're able to still feature NXT talent on the big show on WrestleMania, and then night 2, pack it like you did this year. You could do it like that and save yourself some time, and also prevent yourself looking like Booker T and Jey Uso at Hall of Fame, one wearing sunglasses, but you can clearly tell they're asleep, and the other one literally fighting for their life, hoping that they don't pass out right there on camera, which, hate to tell you, Booker, you did.
Everybody caught you, Booker. Everybody
you got caught in 4K, bro. Anyway, Aaron King, I'm in full agreement with you, DJ. If you don't want the crowd to be up 10 hours, don't cram the card with matches. But here's the deal then.
You can cram it with matches, but you got to be time constrained. See, that's the thing with it, because they know they're on Peacock. They're not on traditional. Well, they're technically still on traditional pay-per-view, but they don't have to worry about their time runs anymore. For people that don't know, when you're on cable for pay-per-views, there's a certain time run that you have. You usually have a block between 6 and 11 or 7 to 11, with 11 being starting right back with your replay. You know, you get to replay for free back in the day, kids. That's how it used to be. Not with these apps.
How pay-per-views used to be.
Yeah. Right. But they don't have to do that now, so they feel they don't have to care. But 2 nights for a lot of people, you just can't do it. And if you actually have it for one, you might actually sell out a little faster than what you did this year, because people actually want to go and just be like, I'm here for the card. 5 hours, say from 5 to 10, you can do a lot. You can literally have, they had 6 matches for night 1. You can have at least 4. And then still with your whole night 2. There's your one night of Mania right there packed in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's something they could try in Indy when they go, not this coming up year, but next year when they go to Indy, they could definitely try that, and it could succeed. Because here's the thing, Indianapolis doesn't have as much to do there than what Vegas does and what New Orleans does and all this stuff. Right. If you just say, I'm doing one night, we're packing the card, we're going to have you in the arena until at least 10 p.m., you're not going to get any complaints.
No, you're not. Now, I know what some people are saying, like, oh, well, that's why they're doing it for SummerSlam. To be honest with you, SummerSlam can probably get away with it, especially this year. 1, it is in the summertime. 2, it is in the New York tri-state area. There's a whole lot of stuff to do to keep you occupied. So it's a little bit different than, say, Indy, where it's just basically the stadium, and that's basically it. So,
well, I've been to Indy multiple times, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do outside of the stadium. There's a lot of bars, there's a lot of, cultural stuff you can do, but I mean, yeah, it's not going to be like going to Vegas and being like, oh, I want to gamble, I want to do all this stuff, do all this, that, and the other. But how am I going to do that when I'm going to SmackDown, I'm going to Hall of Fame, I'm going to Stand and Deliver, I'm going night 1, night 2, Monday Night Raw,
it's a lot.
NXT.
It's a lot. Because literally, some people are not leaving until Wednesday morning. Because they've done the SmackDown. They did the Hall of Fame. They did NXT. They did night 1, night 2, Raw, and then NXT. They're not leaving until Wednesday morning. That's 7 events. 7. No, I'm not doing the Zack Ryder. I'm just literally saying 7. Because that's how many events going on this past weekend. That's a lot.
Yep.
That is a lot to do. But, hopefully we'll see what they do. They still have quite a few big PLEs left. Of course, the next big one will be SummerSlam. So we'll see what they do there. And, of course, they got Clash in Paris later on that month as well. See how they do out in Paris. And, see how it goes for WWE. But
definitely not doing Perth. We're not getting that PTSD back like we had the last time we did it. No, we're not doing Perth. No, Perth, and we'll watch it when we wake up as normal human beings the next day. Yeah, exactly.
But let's give our ratings for night 2 and overall the WrestleMania experience. For night 2, honestly, I'm going to give it a 7. I'm not even going to give it a 7.5. I give it a 7. It was a little faster pace than night 1, especially at the start. but there was quite a few matches that honestly should not even have been on the card. It just shouldn't have been.
Exactly.
So that's why I got to give it a 7. And if we're really going to run it, I say a 7.25 is my average for WrestleMania. It wasn't the best WrestleMania, but it damn sure wasn't the worst. It was meh.
Yeah.
And it had its moments.
And I agree. I would give Night 2 a 7 as well, because I just feel like it was faster paced. I feel like it did have a little more substance to it. But again, once we got to the main events, we were lacking that substance that should have been there in regards to more storytelling building, more interaction between the participants, and telling a story a little bit better than what was told. It didn't translate well, but like I said, this is the first time that Paul Levesque was actually able to change stuff up and not go with the Vince McMahon formula. I mean, this is the first time that that's happened. So I mean, obviously the first time is going to be rough. I have a feeling that Paul Levesque is going to learn from this, and we should see something better, and we should start seeing changes coming up as soon as SummerSlam in regards to the way that things are going to flow from now on. Just like we've said, like DJ said, when AEW first started and, we first started the podcast, time will tell if it's going to improve or not. And we see what's going on with AEW. Not going to get into that because that'll last another hour and a half.
But talk about that.
Yeah, but this is the same thing. It's a dawning of a new era. Now they are not using anything from Vince McMahon's playbook anymore. It is all Paul Levesque now. We are going to see changes, and hopefully the changes are for the better.
Hopefully we get that. But we got some news to talk about regarding what's next for the Wrestling Revival podcast. Now, full transparency here. We were gone for quite a few months, and honestly, full transparency again, it was due to major surgery on yours truly, DJ Notorious. So, unfortunately, got to do it again. I got to do part 2 very, very, very soon. Yep. So, we're going to be taking a little bit more of a break while I recover. Yes, this is a major, major surgery that I got to have yet again. So, when will it return? Oh, I caught that there, you son of a bitch. I caught that there. I caught that. But we can tell you officially, the return of season 4 of the Wrestling Revival podcast will be Wednesday night, July 30th, 10 p.m. Eastern, immediately following Dynamite. We will be back for season 4 premiere. And what a time to actually have a premiere, because we will have our SummerSlam preview for that, because that is the Wednesday night before the granddaddy of them all in the summer, that is, being SummerSlam. So get ready. We'll still be around. You can still follow us on social media. Still keep you updated on what's going on in all the wrestling, but the podcast will return with season 4, episode 1, Wednesday, July 30th, 10 p.m. Eastern.
Exactly. And if anything huge happens between now and our return, I will be making a post for the podcast. It won't be a full-blown episode. It'll probably be something on our TikTok and probably on our Instagram that I'll post just interacting with y'all, because our main concern is being able to continue having some form of content coming out for y'all to digest. Okay, so if something huge happens between now and then, I will definitely put something out and for y'all to interact with and for you to communicate with us. And of course, when it comes to sports, we'll probably be at each other's necks as soon as we come back for the SummerSlam preview. Man, don't you start over there, Mr. I'm going to use torpedoes.
Hey, everybody's using them. It's not just us.
You ain't shit.
Yeah, I heard torpedoes do go to Space City too.
Yeah, and then they're gonna say, "Oh, well, y'all can't use them anymore."
No, it's okay. It's all right. You're an Astro. We're used to y'all crying. You know, you did it a lot. You did it on the Jetsons a lot, you know. It's okay, Astro. It's cool. Don't worry about it.
You need to calm down, sir.
It's okay.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in for our 2-night special of our recap of night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania. We will keep you updated. We will be back July 30th for our season 4 premiere after a certain somebody over here is seeing in 4K again.
Hey, things happen.
Yeah, I know. But at the end of the day, you got to take care of yourself, and we'll be there to support as always. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Keep an eye on our social medias. We'll keep you updated, and we'll send out reminders when it's close to time for us to come back for season 4. And hey, you're going to see us back in action, and you're going to see us going at each other's throats again. So
it's okay because I won't be, you know, I'll be recovering, but this guy will still be on WWE 2K25 in 3-minute warning. Let's wrap it up.
I am Cyber Yeti. This is DJ Notorious, Mr. Notorious approved, Mr. Here for the Petty. We thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you July 30th for season 4, episode 1. And y'all have yourselves a good night and enjoy the rest of your evening. You ain't shit, DJ. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
I mean it.